members would like to remove their jackets this evening, it may be useful. It's a bit warm. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome newly elected members to their first council meeting. Can I also say how good it is to be back in Castle House for our full council meetings. And I would like to thank the staff and customers of J2 for accommodating our meetings whilst we were unable to use this room. I now need to go over the usual housekeeping rules. There are no fire drills planned for this evening, so if the fire alarm does sound, please leave the building by the nearest exit and assemble in the Queen's Gardens at the front of the building. Please do not re-enter the building until you are advised to do so. I now would like to remind members of protocols around speaking during this meeting. No member should speak until invited to do so by myself. If you wish to speak, please could I ask you to raise your hand high until you have been acknowledged. Please would all members in the room use their microphones whenever they speak, as without them, anyone joining us remotely will not be able to hear what is being said. To use the microphones, please press the button at the front centre when invited to speak and wait a moment for the light on your microphone to come on. Please remember to turn off your microphone once you have finished. Could I ask you to all make sure that you take all your belongings and waste with you at the end of the meeting? Members, I have a couple of announcements to make before we move to this evening's business. Firstly, could any new members who haven't yet completed the personal bank detail forms, please do so and return them to Democratic Services by the end of this week. Secondly, you will find on your desks the form that needs to be completed in order to register your interests under the Member Code of Conduct. Please ensure you complete the form and return it to Democratic Service within the next 28 days. Please contact Democratic Services if you need any help with these forms. We will now commence the business for this evening. Agenda item 1, apologies. I have received apologies from Councillor Talbot and Councillor Wheeldon. Are there any other apologies, please? Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Brockie is just running a few minutes late, so will be joining us slightly late.
Thank you. The next agenda item is item number 2, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest from any members or officers in relation to any items of business on the agenda? No. We move to agenda item 3. Members are to approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 6th of April 2022, and you will find those minutes on pages 5 to 11 of your main agenda. Can the minutes please be agreed? Thank you. Agenda item 4, election of the mayor for 2022-2023. The first substantive item of business is to elect a mayor for the coming council year. I have been made aware of one nomination. Councillor Jill Burnett. Could someone please move the nomination for Councillor Burnett? Councillor Simon Tagg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It gives me great pleasure to nominate Jill Burnett for the role of Borough Mayor for the next municipal year. Jill has been working in a local community for over 20 years as a Borough Councillor and as the Kidsgrove Town Councillor and as a County Councillor, and has served as Deputy Mayor of the Borough for the last year, and is the former Mayor of Kidsgrove, which stands her in good stead for the year ahead as Mayor of our great borough. Jill will be ably assisted by her partner David, and I'm sure she will be a wonderful ambassador for the council and for the borough. I move Jill Burnett as Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tagg. Is that seconded, please? Councillor Sweeney.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't want to repeat everything the leader's just said, but I endorse everything he said, and I'm very happy to second them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sweeney. Are there any other nominations? No. Thank you. Councillor Jill Burnett has now been formally nominated for the position of Mayor for the municipal year 2022-2023. As there are no other nominations, Councillor Burnett is therefore formally elected as the Mayor of Newcastle-under-Lyme Borough Council for the municipal year 2022-2023.
Yeah. All right.
Hang on to that and pass it to Marty when she's ready to send it. She has, yeah. Should be. I'm having loads of trouble with this. I'm putting them on. Oh, I'll have another look at it. There was some that I was uploading and it was putting the old photograph on the front facing page and then the new one on the middle one. I'll have a look and see what's gone wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Not any old pen.
Good evening. My first duty as your new mayor is to make my declaration of acceptance of office. I, Gillian Burnett, having been elected to the office of mayor for the Borough of Newcastle-under-Lyme, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof accordingly to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of the Borough Council of Newcastle-under-Lyme in the performance of my functions in that office. Yeah, please be seated. Sorry. Say that on here. Right. Agenda item number 5, appointment of Deputy Mayor. Members, the next item of business on the agenda is to appoint a Deputy Mayor for the forthcoming municipal year. I have been made aware of 2 nominations, Councillor Simon White and Councillor John Williams. Could someone please move the nomination for Councillor Simon White? Councillor Tagg? Do you want to say anything?
Yes, I'd like to. Thank you, Madam. First of all, congratulations on your appointment. Maybe the first one to do that. It was my honour this evening to propose Councillor Simon White for the position of Deputy Mayor for the next council year. With his experience of being a mayor previously, we'll be able to assist you well, Madam Mayor, in doing your role next year. Everyone will be aware that Simon, in his last spell as mayor, was impacted by the COVID pandemic and cancellation of many events and also postponement of the ball. So I'm more than happy to propose that he takes on the Deputy Mayor position this year and hopefully step up to Mayor next year to complete what will be the borough's 850th anniversary since the town received its royal charter. Simon is a great champion for the morality and for the borough, and we'll do you proud as your deputy, Madam Mayor, and we'll do the borough proud during this period as we prepare for that landmark 850th celebration. I propose Councillor Simon White as Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Is that seconded? Councillor Sweeney, would you like to speak?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. And can I take the opportunity to be the second person to congratulate you on becoming the Mayor of this Lord Ancient Borough? No, I have great pleasure in seconding Simon for this position. I've known Simon for a number of years. I think he's an excellent Mayor, and I think he'll be perfect position for the 850 years. And I don't want to repeat everything that Simon just said, so I won't. I'll leave it at that. But I'm very, very happy to second him. Thank you.
Thank you. Could someone please move the nomination for Councillor John Williams? Councillor David.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and congratulations on your appointment tonight. It's an honour to nominate Councillor Williams for the role of Deputy Mayor of the loyal and ancient borough of Newcastle-under-Lyme. John, who I think occupies the position as father of this chamber, has served the residents of Cross Heath for nearly 30 years on the council. To put that in context, several of our newer councillors were not born when John first joined the council in 1995. John joining the council put an end to the peace and quiet his wife and fellow ward councillor Jill Williams had enjoyed, having first been elected 2 years earlier. John represents everything that's good and proud about Newcastle-under-Lyme. He's quick to defend those who need support, to lend voice to those who need to be heard, and to stand steadfast against injustice, however it may present. John's unflinching ability to work with people across communities and this chamber has earned him the respect of those across the political spectrum. That's not to say that John doesn't disagree and fight his corner. For those of us who have had the misfortune of crossing John, I speak from experience when I say it teaches you to never do that again. John has served this council faithfully as a cabinet member and leader of the Labour group. A stalwart of the planning committee, John has supported new members to gain confidence and understand the planning process, the intricacies it presents, and the planning histories of various sites. For those of us on planning committee, we've seen John delight in combining his passion for planning with his other passion for walking, and I would say his passion for Jill, but quite often they vote separate ways. John takes his role as defender of public walkways seriously, is first to ensure that developments take into account these routes and ensure that provision of these vital resources are there for future generations. But Madam Mayor, it's through planning that John has shown his real character. When the former factory in his ward was demolished and the significant development known as Mill Rise was created, He didn't run away, as many of us might have. He didn't hide behind the planning committee. He faced residents' concerns head on and defended the need for housing. A true community champion, never running from a problem, resolving and defending what's right. John will make an excellent deputy mayor and eventually mayor for this borough. His near 30 years service to the borough puts him in a unique position of serving under more than 20 different mayors. So hopefully we'll have picked up the odd hint or two. But what will make John a great mayor is his commitment to the borough, its residents, and to us as their elected representatives. It's an honour to move his nomination.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Councillor Fox-Hewitt.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations and welcome. It gives me immense pleasure to second Councillor John Williams for Deputy Mayor. The prestigious role for carrying out the civic duties on behalf of this council for the new municipal year. This council has long held a tradition of electing a mayor or mayoress, not on political grounds or party allegiances, but on their record and time spent serving our communities. That was the case until recent times, and I think that we all hope not to see a repeat of that going forward. Councillor Williams has served this borough and the communities, as has been said, and of Crossheath for just short of 30 years. In that time, John has served in Cabinet and as Chair of Planning, a record that is only matched by one other in this chamber. Most notably, however, John has never held the esteemed post of Mayor, not twice, not even once. I'm sure everyone in this chamber and right across the borough want to see that remedied tonight, and for that service and civic duty to be rightly acknowledged. For these reasons, I'm delighted to support and second my friend and my colleague, John Williams, for Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? No. Thank you. Councillor Simon White and Councillor John Williams have both been formally nominated for the position of Deputy Mayor for the new civic year. I will now move to the vote. I will take the candidates in alphabetical order, and voting will be by a show of hands in the normal manner. Each elected member has one vote and may vote for either Councillor White or Councillor Williams, or may abstain. At the end of this process, the person with the highest number of votes cast in his or her favour will be the successful candidate and elected. All those in favour of the election of Councillor White, please show your hand by raising your hand now. Thank you. All those in favour of Councillor Williams, please show your hand now. Any abstentions? No. Okay. Thank you, members. The results are 24 in favour of Councillor White and 18 in favour of Councillor Williams, and with no abstentions. I therefore declare that Councillor White be appointed as Deputy Mayor for the next municipal year. I congratulate him and look forward to working with him. I now invite Councillor White to make his declaration of acceptance of office.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I, Simon White, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor for the Borough of Newcastle-under-Lyme, 1173, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best and judgment of my ability. Thank you.
Councillor, would you like to say a few words?
I think I've said enough. Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item 6, Merrell appointments. I now come to item 6 on the agenda that requires me to announce my appointments for the coming year. My first appointment, which I wish to announce, is that of the consort. I, Gillian Burnett, hereby appoint David Faulkner to be my consort for the next municipal year. The second appointment that I wish to make is that of my High Constable. I, Gillian Burnett, hereby appoint Chris Faulkner as my High Constable for the next municipal year. The next appointment is that of my cadet. I, Gillian Burnett, hereby appoint Sergeant Katie Shaw to be my cadet for the next municipal year. The next appointment is that of my chaplain. I, Gillian Burnett, hereby appoint the Reverend Ian Baker to be my chaplain for the next municipal year. The final appointment to be made is that of the mace bearers. I, Gillian Burnett, hereby appoint Jenny Otter and Alderman Chris Malkin to be my mace bearers for the next municipal year. Agenda item 7. Item 7 provides me with the opportunity to address members of the council and the people who are watching on YouTube on my hopes and aspirations for my year of office. Firstly, I would like to thank the council for electing me as Mayor of the Borough of Newcastle-under-Lyme. It is a very special year as it celebrates the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. I am very honoured and will commit to carry out my duties to the best of my ability with a polite and professional manner, as you would expect. The role of Mayor is a vital part of our borough's heritage, and I promise to do my utmost during the next year to make the borough proud of our heritage and to put Newcastle-under-Lyme firmly on the map. I have many ideas for charity events that I can hold to raise money for my chosen charities, which are the Tried Services Retreat at Mountcop and Home Start Newcastle. The role of Mayor is an ambassadorial role, promoting the borough and throughout Staffordshire-wide and further afield, whilst importantly supporting the residents of our loyal and ancient borough by recognising the work they do in so many different ways. I would now like to personally thank former Mayor Ken Owen for carrying out his duties diligently and with great enthusiasm. We will now move to item 8 of your agenda, which is the vote of thanks for the retiring Mayor and Mayoress. I will now ask Councillor Simon Tagg to propose a vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor and Mayoress.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I'm really pleased to propose a vote of thanks to the outgoing Mayor and Mayoress, Ken and Rachel. Ken did over 88 engagements during the mayoral year, which is fewer than normal, but of course we've dealt with the tail end of the COVID pandemic, so that affected, obviously the things weren't back to normal, but now we thankfully are getting back to normal. He raised over £4,000 for his charities throughout that year, and at his April ball at Keel Hall. Highlights of his mayoral year included the Freedom of the Borough ceremonies for Jim Morgan and also the Royal Stoke, and also 2 centenary birthdays for centenarians in the borough, and the 30th anniversary of Britain in Bloom. He also represented the borough at the 127th anniversary of the Dig Lake mining disaster, as well as attending many events of promoting the borough across the entire county. Though not elected this time in May, I'm sure we will still be active in the community, and I wish him and Rachel well for the future, whatever they do. Thank you.
I now call upon the retiring Mayor to respond to the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's been a great privilege for me over the last 12 months. I remember it very clearly when I was elected Mayor, and I've enjoyed every single moment. And it's time for me to thank some key people. I thank all the members of the council, old and new, who've supported me. But my first sort of thanks is to my Mayoress, Rachel, who has stood by my side on all but I think it was 2 occasions. So she's done remarkably well. I think it becomes a joint effort between the Mayor and the Mayoress, and I can't thank her enough for the support she's given me. I also would like to thank, I call him the #1 man, that's the Mayor's Sergeant, Peter. He told us where to go, where to stand, what to say, and when. And without him, I think we would have been lost at times. I also thank the Reverend Josh Penduck. A really superb appointment by me, and thank you once again, Josh. I also would like to thank the mace bearers, Chris and Jenny, not forgetting Angela, and the services of the chauffeurs, Anthony, Ashley and Hayden, who safely guided us around Staffordshire on many occasions. My charity work was sort of curtailed during the year, and I would have liked to add an increase in the funds that we did raise. However, the money will be sent on to Tri Services, who are here this evening, and the Royal British Legion. That will be sorted in the next 2 weeks. And I do wish the new Madam Mayor all the very best in the coming year. I'm sure she'll enjoy it as much as I did. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ken. I now have the pleasure in presenting you and Rachel with your badges. Agenda item number 10, a copy of the report for election results can be found on page 13 to 16 of your main agenda. If members wish to speak on this item, please indicate following the introductory remarks and moving of the recommendations by Councillor Simon Tagg. Councillor Tagg.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I always like this item on the agenda of annual council. It's always, to note, but it's also, we can pay tribute to all of the candidates that took part in the election. And of course, particularly those that won across from wherever political persuasion they are, because it's not easy to get yourself elected. You have to go out there and campaign and leaflet, and we've all done that in this room successfully as we're here. But also we just think of those candidates who didn't get elected and wish them all the best, I think, going forward from all political parties. But for me, of course, being leader of the Conservative group, I'm really pleased to have a group of 25 here tonight that gives us the majority on the council. And, we are in a 4-year term. That gives the council stability now going forward, which it hasn't had for a number of years in what has traditionally been a hung council. So I'm really pleased to move these results, and the report is noted. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Tagg. Councillor Sweeney, would you like to second the recommendations?
Yes, I would. Thank you. It's a recommendation, but I'm happy to second it anyway. 2025. Over the 4 years, we went from 18 to 25, so it's an increase of 7. And I'd like to pay credit to everybody. It's very easy to be in a position where you criticise the council, but everybody in this room, everybody who stood, whether they got it or not, had the guts, if you like, to put their name forward, put their head above the parapet, and actually say, I want to make a difference to Newcastle-under-Lyme. So win or lose, whatever party you're in, I think you absolutely deserve people's respect for doing that. It's easy to complain, but actually to try to do something about it is huge credit to everybody who took part. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Sweeney. Are there any other members wishing to speak? Oh, Councillor Dave Jones.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I'd also like to pay tribute to all of the candidates, successful and unsuccessful, across all of the political parties and independent candidates who stood. And I'd like to formally say a welcome to the new councillors across both political parties. I think with this election, we've seen a significant influx of new councillors, more than we've probably seen in previous elections, which I think will change the dynamic of this chamber and how we conduct ourselves within it. And I look forward to that.
Thank you. If there are no other speakers, we'll go to the recommendations have been moved and seconded. All those in favour? Yeah, that's clearly carried. Thank you. Agenda item 11, appointment of leader of the council. Members, the next is agenda item 11, where the leader of the council now to be appointed. Councillor Sweeney, would you like to propose Councillor Simon Tagg?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Before I propose him, I'd just like to say a few words. I'm not going to go on for too long. I could do, but I won't. Simon has been an inspirational leader for the last 4.5 years. This is his second spell as leader, and in December, he will have been leader for 10 years. In the last 4.5 years, he's steadied the ship. He's ensured the historic Guildhall is still open as available public space. We've nearly ready to reopen Kidsgrove Sports Centre. I think we've massively improved the recycling system that we inherited. In fact, I was in where was I? I was at Seabridge the other day, and the chap who I haven't got a clue who he is came up and said, "Thank you for bringing in that great recycling system." I don't know, it's madam. But he's come up to me, it's not in my ward, but he come and said that to me. I thought, well, that's interesting. I think he's established a very strong officer team, very, very capably led by our Chief Exec, Martin Hamilton. I think we've been trusted by the government with over £50 million of future high street and town deal funding. He's led on the ongoing transformation of the council. If you talk about elections, he took personal control of this ward to ensure that 2 Conservative councillors were returned. When Simon sets his heart on winning a seat, you don't really want to be the other side. Simon along this cabinet have made this a truly member-led authority. I think the officers would all agree with this, and it gives me great honour to propose him as leader for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Councillor Holland, would you like to second the proposal?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have pleasure in seconding the nomination of Councillor Tagg for another 4-year term as leader of the council, and I have greater pleasure in being in a position to do so in the hope that the vote will be carried in his favour. This is a well-run council. We have award-winning public services, and I can think of no single act that will guarantee our continued prosperity within the borough than nominating Councillor Simon Tagg for another term of office as leader of this authority. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour? Yeah. Yeah. All those against? Abstentions? That's clearly carried. Councillor Simon Tagg is hereby appointed as leader of the council. Councillor Simon Tagg, would you like to speak?
Nothing more than just say thank you for the support that I've received from my group tonight. And Councillor Sweeney outlined some of the successes, but we're not resting on laurels. We need to move forward, take this council forward even more. And one of the things we need to concentrate on is obviously getting a resolution to the Wally's Quarry issue. And that's one of my main priorities, along with all the other things we stood for on the election and Councillor Sweeney has mentioned. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Tagg. Members, we move on to agenda item 12, where the leader will now appoint his deputy leader and cabinet with portfolios. Councillor Simon Tagg.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, again, pleasure to announce the cabinet for the next year. And I'm announcing that Councillor Andy Fear will be joining the cabinet. I will outline the positions now. We'll have a cabinet member for finance, town centres, growth, and deputy leader, who will be Stephen Sweeney. Environmental and Sorry, Mark. Environment and recycling will be Councillor Trevor Johnson, retaining his place. Strategic planning will be Councillor Andy Fear. Leisure, culture and heritage will be Jill Waring. And community safety and wellbeing will be Jill Heatham. And one council, people and partnership, will be myself as leader. There's no changes to the remits of the portfolios this year. They will remain as they were last year. But I'd just like to say, before I close, thank Councillor Paul Northcott, who served on the Cabinet for the last 4 years, who will be, depending on the vote in a bit, moving to the Chair of Planning, where he'll have a really important role to deliver for us there. So thank you to you, Paul. And thank you to the existing Cabinet members who are retaining their position. And I welcome Andy to the Cabinet. Thank you, Andy Fear, to the Cabinet. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Tagg. Members, the next item on the agenda is to appoint the members, chairs and vice chairs of committees. The report can be found on pages 3 to 11 of your supplementary agenda. Appointments to committees. Please can the nominations to committees be agreed?
Is it, Madam Mayor?
Okay. Seconder? Seconded by Councillor Dave Jones. Appointments of chairs and vice chairs. Members, where more than one councillor has been nominated for the position of chair or vice chair on any committees, a vote must be taken. I would ordinarily propose to do this via a show of hands for each position, but I believe Councillor Holland wishes to make a proposal in respect of how voting should proceed on this item. Is that correct, Councillor Holland?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll make myself popular and unpopular, perhaps with different people. I was going to suggest that having achieved two-party democracy in the Borough of Newcastle-under-Lyme, there now exists a clear slate of nominations of Conservative candidates for positions that are contested and a clear slate of Labour nominations. And if the group leaders are so minded and you were happy to proceed on that basis, I would like to invite each of the groups to make their nominations en bloc, and then we could have a single vote, because my anticipation is that the votes will all go the same way. I don't know what your view on that is, Madam Mayor, but I would be happy to put that forward.
Indeed, Madam Mayor.
Yeah. Right, so Councillor Jones is happy with that. Okay. So members, I'm going to take a vote on whether or not we should appoint to the chair and vice chairmanships as Councillor Holland suggests. All those in...
So we've done that.
We've done that bit, yeah.
So,
right.
So it's here.
Here. Right. All in favour of appointing the Conservative group nominees to the chairs and vice chairs of all committees as set out on pages 10 and 11 of your supplementary agenda, please indicate. Yeah. All those against?
So that's 18 against, 24 for. So the Conservative nominations are approved.
So that's 18 against and 24 for. So the Conservative nominations are all approved. Thank you. So where am I now? Page 14. 14.
Yes, agenda item 14.
Okay. So agenda item 14, external roles and appointments. Members, the next item is item 14. A copy of the report for the external roles of members on outside bodies can be found on pages 13 to 27 of your supplementary agenda. Please note that where there are more than one councillor has been nominated, a vote must be taken. I propose to do this via a show of hands for each position. The councillor with the most votes will be appointed. Please raise your hand as each name is called. So the first one is the Aspire Housing Board. We've got Councillor Northcott and Councillor Beeston. So can we have a vote for Councillor Northcott? Yeah, and Councillor Beeston. So 24 for Councillor Northcott and 18 for Councillor Beeston. So Councillor Northcott is appointed on the Aspire Housing Board. Next, we move on to Staffordshire Police and Crime Panel and associated panels. Councillor Heatham, I believe, as the relevant portfolio holder, and Councillor Fox-Hewitt. So can I have votes for Councillor Heason and Councillor Fox-Hewitt? So that's 24 for Councillor Heason and 18 for Councillor Fox-Hewitt. So Councillor Heason was appointed. Waste and Mineral Site Liaison Committee, Nutton Quarry. 2 members are required and there are 3 nominees. The 2 members with the highest votes will be appointed. So can I have votes for Councillor Adcock?
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I think there's an error there. I think there are 4 places required. There's a vote for the Silverdale representative between Councillor Adcock and Councillor Brown. Councillor Talbot is the Nutton representative, and she gets there by right as being a 1-seat ward. I think that needs to be corrected. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Right, so what have I got to do then?
It's a vote between Councillor Adcock and Councillor Brown.
Right, so it's a vote between Councillor Adcock and Councillor Brown. Sorry. Yeah. Right, so can we have votes for Councillor Adcock, please? Uh, 24, and votes for Councillor Brown? 18. So Councillor Adcock is appointed. Waste and Mineral Site Liaison Committee, Keel, Madeley Heath Quarry. 2 members are required and there are 3 nominees. The 2 members with the highest votes will be appointed. So can I have votes for Councillor Simon White? It's 24. Votes for Councillor Gary White? 24. And for Councillor Dave Jones? 18. So Councillors Simon White and Gary White are appointed. Waste and Mineral Site Liaison Committee, Wally's Landfill Site. Next, Jay, have we got to do that? We've done that one. Right, okay. 15.
Oh, sorry. No, we haven't.
We haven't, no.
Again, Adcock and Brown.
I don't know, I've lost them now. Which bit is it now? Is it this bit I've just crossed out then?
Yeah, Wally's Quarry.
Right, sorry. So we have got to do the Waste and Mineral Site Liaison Committee for Wally's Landfill Site. 4 members are required, 1 for Thistlebury, Silverdale, Nutton and Keel wards, and Silverdale ward has 2 nominees, and I will therefore take a vote. So if we can vote for Councillor Adcock. 24. Councillor Brown. 18. So Councillor Adcock is appointed.
I think we've made an error here.
Oh, right, one more.
Excuse me, members, I actually think we may have confused Nutton Quarry and Wally's Quarry.
Probably. Apologies
earlier
from
on.
me.
Bingo. Nutton Quarry requires 2 members and there are 3 nominees as per the mayor's script. And we did that between 2 members. So I think we need to take that vote again between Councillor Adcock, Talbot and Brown for Nutton Quarry.
Right, so
Councillors
Adcock.
Talbot and Brown.
Right, so can I have votes for Councillor? Sorry. You'd like to withdraw Councillor Brown? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's Councillor Adcock and Talbot will be elected.
So you need both of them, yeah. Right, so Councillor Adcock and Councillor Talbot will be elected. Are we on number 15 now?
Okay, no, that's us.
Yeah, sure. So we're on agenda item 15 now. A copy of the report for the confirmation of the Constitution can be found on pages 29 to 31 of your supplementary agenda. I understand that Councillor Simon Tagg intends to move this item. Councillor Tagg?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, this is a standard item we bring to annual councils to accept the constitution, and it's the nuts and bolts and the gears and the levers how we govern the council over the next 4 years. This is a new constitution this time, and for the benefit of new members, a process was started in the old council to completely revamp the previous constitution, which had many issues that needed to be updated to relevant laws, particularly, for example, on the code of conduct laws, which have been revamped by the government, and we have to accept those, which we will do with this constitution. It's a massive document. We had a subcommittee that met of all parties, and the last meeting of that took place on Monday night just to confirm the final details. And there were representatives from both the groups here tonight, and we agreed that we put this forward tonight to be adopted. But also, item 2 there is that we delegate to the monitoring officer in consultation with the portfolio holder to authorise any amendments to the constitution necessary following the annual council, because these things are changing all the time. Legislation changes and has to be updated, and we must keep this up to date and proper and correct so that we can run the council properly. So I move those recommendations as set out, Mr. Mayor. Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Tagg. Councillor Holland, would you like to second the recommendations?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Seconded formally.
Thank you, Councillor Holland. Are there any other members wishing to speak? Councillor Jones.
Yes, Madam Mayor. I just wonder if the leader could just clarify that last point. Does it replace the item in the report that says any substantive changes to constitution would still need to come back to council to be agreed on? We would be happy with that.
Looking at our legal officer, I think that would be the case, would it not? Because ultimately, full council has the authority to accept those changes, which we'll work on them and then bring them back to the next available full council. Hope that clarifies. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay. I'll now put the matter to a vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous. So the decision is passed. Members' addenda items 16 and 17 relate to urgent business and confidential business. I have no urgent or confidential business that needs to be considered this evening, and therefore that concludes the business of this meeting, and I therefore declare the meeting closed. For those of you not joining me at my civic reception at Keele, may I wish you a safe journey home and hope that everyone enjoys the rest of their evening. Thank you.
All right.